Halfway through the NFL football season, man. Let's get some of y'all mid-season awards. I'm gonna put y'all on the spot.
On the spot. Let's go through the awards then.
Let's go through the awards. Right now, we gonna say the best for last. We're gonna do the MVP last. But we all had an idea who would be the comeback player of the year. Who y'all think the comeback player of the year is so far?
Who's we saying that first? Remind me.
Well,
I said Big Ben.
Yeah, I believe you and I said Cam, and it looks like
we did. Yeah.
So I think it's
definitely Big Ben right now.
It's got to be Big Ben, and I think Peg Leg Smith gonna come in second just because he got on the field and took a sack. Like he got hit.
But he took Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald said that motherfucker leg strong.
He should win off that alone right there.
Exactly.
For his kids can be proud of that and forever understand the meaning of not giving up. So
yeah, that's definitely a good motivational tool right
I respect it.
So who's the biggest disappointment this season? That ain't no real award, but I want to know who the biggest disappointment is of the season.
Can I go out on a limb? And there's a lot of people that might kill me for this, but I'm gonna say so far through the first half, Bill Belichick. We got so much talk about how he's the reason that Tom Brady's the GOAT, but Tom Brady is making adjustments and doing what's necessary in Tampa, looking like Tom to me. You know what I mean? Of course, he's 43. He's lost the arm strength, but his intelligence is still there, minus the fourth down blunder. But other than that, but Bill Belichick is scrambling. And I know you don't have the talent always, but it's looking like you heavily relied on Tom Brady to get you over the hump a lot of these years.
But see, I can't agree with you there because what Belichick said in his post game, that shit was real. Like, for one, they top safety, top linebacker, top tackle, and like 5 other players that were starters all opted out. And he did say, look, hey, we sold out for this. We sold out the last 5 years. Is what we always do.
Do they opt out of Tom if Tom is there though?
Probably. Shit, it's still COVID.
They know with Tom they got a chance. They've always had a chance.
Where did we get next man up from?
100%. 100%.
So we're not gonna give him a pay. And I said this, and I got killed after the draft. I said, everybody, Belichick. I wasn't sold on the draft. I'm like, come on now, his last couple of drafts ain't been up to par. We got to start giving him some criticism.
Been clicking.
Everybody, it's Belichick I trust and Belichick I trust. I'm like, listen here, ain't nobody exempt for some criticism. I'm not giving y'all a lifetime achievement award, and he out 100%. Here looking funny in the light. This offense ain't clicking. You still ain't bringing. You could have bought some wide receiver. You could have bought somebody. I ain't saying they had to be big money wide receiver, but you could have got somebody that had a role. Somebody can run. It's some people out there that can just run 4-3. They can't do nothing else but run 4-3. You ain't got
I thought they was gonna try and get John Ross from us, to be quite honest, because that's something that they needed.
But let me give you some Belichick history. Prior to Tom Brady, he only won under Parcells. He never won as a head coach. Was just a regular head coach. Got with Brady, took it to the next level. Without Brady, and that's why I said through the first half of the season, he's my biggest disappointment because I expect better because you have
100%. But I won't forget also that he went 11-5 with Matt Castle.
No, but you had during that time, Matt Castle was under Brady. He knew the game plan. Y'all were able to do that, but you weren't able to do that this time. But that's my thing. You had a whole off season to get ready for this. So I can't give you the credit.
He also went 4-0 the year Brady got suspended with 2 different quarterbacks.
And my thing is when Brady had his most success, you can say Bill never had success without Brady, but also Brady always had a top tier defense under Bill. And once again, like I said, your top safety opted out, your top linebacker opted out, and you have a whole bunch of other missing pieces. So I'm not going to just crush Bill the very first season that he doesn't.
I'm not crushing him.
100%.
You said first half disappointment, so I'm just saying I'm disappointed.
I'm 100%, but I gotta push back.
I respect it. I said prior to me making that statement, I might get killed for it.
Hill,
what?
you agree that that's your biggest disappointment throughout the first half?
I mean, it's easy for me to say that Dallas Cowboys like my main.
Oh
yeah. You know, but that's I mean, yeah, it's big. It's big disappointment. I'm not gonna go no further than I mean, you know what? I'm gonna say the biggest disappointment is Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's been trending down though, even last year.
But you could definitely say that because of the hype.
But he's a big disappointment because the level of regression.
Yeah,
one play in particular, he just rolled out. I know it was last week. He just rolled out and he just sat there. I'm like, bro, you can at least throw it away. You could do anything. And he sat there and he got hit, and it was a sack fumble. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Yeah,
like this ain't like I said,
even trash quarterbacks don't do that.
I've had my criticism about Carson Wentz, but right now he looking like this looking god awful. and this ain't what you supposed to be. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. He doesn't have his offensive line. I get it. It's gonna affect you. But that's it. Like say, don't come at me with all they praised him last year. Oh, he made it to the playoff, and you know he took the janitors to the playoff. And then once again, we always neglect that he just beat the NFC East last year to get to the playoff. Mm-hmm. But y'all keep telling me it's the worst division in football. So which one is it? We're gonna praise him for beating the NFC East, or we're gonna kill him for which one is it? I'm disappointed in him. Even that he don't have to look this bad. That's all I'm saying. He really doesn't have to look this bad because he's doing way too much. Like I just don't.
He just won't throw the ball. Just throw the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's throwing the ball to other teams.
He's creating a lot of sacks. I know the offensive line is not there, but I'm watching. These are self-inflicted sacks. These are not. Yeah. I seen him drop back, get to the top of his drop, and have time to scan, and then roll out and do a spin or a duck under. If you have that much time, you could have threw it away.
But Candy, that's what made him hot. He made a lot of them plays that worked for him. That's what made it hot.
And those plays have to come sparingly. You have to understand that this is the NFL. When you see that you are causing sacks week after week in the film room, you gotta see this. You have to see it.
It's crazy. I mean, you would think you would see it, but like I said, that same film that he was putting on film, he was doing and it was working. So it's like.
And as a head coach, Doug Peterson has to say, listen, if you continue to do this, I'm going to pull you. I have to. Hey. You have to just make the best decision. I'm not asking you to win the game or be perfect. I do want you to win the game, but I understand that we're injured and all of that, but I need you to be productive. And you are being counterproductive with a lot of the things that you're doing. And that's what I don't need. And if you're going to do that, I got to bench you.
Yeah, I just think that the reason why I think Daniel Jones and Carson Wentz are surviving the way that they are surviving is the like you said, Hill, it's the division. Because even with that shitty ass play that they're getting out of them, it's almost like we still in this shit. Like what? There's still a chance,
and they are
could go 6-10 and win this division.
Who your disappointment though? Because we got some things to talk about in this chat.
My biggest
chat boom.
Okay, so it ain't gonna necessarily seem like a disappointment, but my biggest disappointment is the New York Jets front office. Why the hell you ain't fired Adam Gase yet? Like, get him the fuck out of here, man. Like, it's over. We understand. Like, please, like, look, move on. You got to like just move on and see if the team of like rally around, the interim head coach and be like, hey, we finally got him up out of here. Let's do something because he done got rid of all the other talent. Let's put some good film on, like out there. So if a new coach come in and he don't want us, we got good film out there. We can land somewhere else. Sam Darnold might be like, shit, I might need to show up and show out so I can go somewhere else. Like,
you need to solidify the number 1 pick. You gotta solidify you don't want to mess this up. You don't want to mess this up. If Trevor Lawrence is who you think he is, you need to solidify getting that number 1 pick. It's gonna be a whole new culture regardless of the fact. It's gonna be like I said, you're gonna hope to get a whole new all season. You got a whole slew of draft picks. You're gonna bring in a whole bunch of new players. You have a whole bunch of cap space. You're gonna bring a whole bunch of players in. It's gonna be a whole lot of changes need to be made. But first thing first, you need to solidify this number 1 overall draft pick, and you can't do that by trying to get better. I'm sorry. I it's taking. It is what it is. You got. That's the only reason you got a job.
I understand.
But I do, as far as the comments go in the chat, I want to say I do agree with Sean Hurt as far as Mike Thomas.
I want to wait for
that. He has been a big disappointment, and also I agree with Chris Brooks as far as Houston. Especially when I think of Houston, I think pre D Hop trade, Houston had pieces, man, and it's just like Bill O'Brien. I know he's gone, but it's like he tore that whole thing down, man. And I felt like had he stayed the course and didn't abandon his own ship, which is who abandons their own ship. But anyway, he abandoned his own ship, and look at the predicament that they're in. So it's like
Miami got a top 5 pick right now because of Houston, and that's because of Bill O'Brien. So you can't even rebuild right with being trash. You just trash. They are definitely a disappointment. The only plea that I'm going to give the Texans is their schedule starting out. I don't give a damn if they had D Hop, they might have lost the first 3-4 games. To be quite honest.
Yeah, they had to go against like the toughest of tough.
They had a tough ass schedule, but whoa!
They still played themselves. So it's
like, no, 100%.
I said that was the only plea.
I'm with you.
But I'm with Chris and I'm with you. They are a disappointment because, like I said, their division ain't that tough. That
it's really just like the Colts and the Texans. The Titans.
Like you had a chance. And you've been on top of the division for a while. Like you had some pieces that you could have got some things together. They are a disappointment. Don't get it twisted. I just had a little plea for them. Just a little.
Because the Titans might have got exposed too for not being real. Ain't that right, Ross?
He in here.
But
let's go back to this.
But what is Ross talking about with the Giants? Who are they supposed to start?
Because he said because AJ said Daniel Jones.
They definitely don't have nobody else.
So Mike Thomas has been your disappointment, Sean. I get it because he's been injured. What are you disappointed in? You disappointed in your fantasy team, or you really disappointed in real life? That's what I really want to actually know because he's been injured.
Yeah,
has he been injured? I think he's been healthy the last 3 to 4 weeks.
I think it was the last week or maybe
it started
2
with that fight. And I don't think he's been injured since the fight, honestly.
We've just seen that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson be getting his ass whooped by a whole bunch of people because Williams just had to whoop on him. So obviously it looked like Mike Thomas might have had a reason to put the pause on him. Like, hey, like you just be talking a little bit too much shit, and I'm Mike Thomas. I'm gonna put the beats on you. I don't know.
But he had an ankle injury. He had an ankle injury.
What is like an ankle sprain?
Then you re-injured yourself fighting.
Hamstring. No, he had a hamstring.
Hamstring.
They not about to sit here and not play this man. Let's be honest. They're not about to sit here and not play him. So
especially when you're in the same division with the Bucks. If he's good to go. I think that suspension was kind of like a little bit tongue in cheek to send a message and to be like, you hurt anyway, so it's not really like we gonna rush you out there. But if he was 100% healthy, and you know how hamstrings go, you play on that thing at 85%. Next thing you know, you back on IR because that thing done pop.
Plus, if we think about the Saints, they always started off hot and they took a little, decline towards the end of the season. Every it seemed like every year. So
yeah,
they need to be hot when it need to be time, and they're gonna be hot when they get them, and they've still been winning. Yeah. So it's like I'm definitely believing that he definitely truly does have a real injury, and it's not this diva that they're trying to make him seem out to be, because he don't even really talk. So it's like
this is like the most like weird wide receiver like era ever, because you got a whole bunch of wide receivers in here that be like the star receivers that don't really talk too much. I mean, we just started kind of hearing from DK a little bit. Devontae's kind of talking, but I really can't tell you what they sound like, because it ain't like they always in front of the screens and stuff like that. It ain't like we got the TOs, Chad Johnsons and stuff like that. I think it kind of started with Megatron and AJ Green. They were just like, look, we just gonna come out here and ball on you.
I ain't heard Devontae Adams say nothing. I ain't heard a sound bite. And the only reason I heard DK because they had him mic'd up the other day on Instagram.
That was it. That was the first time I heard him. So.
I ain't heard nothing.
And can we stop? Can we stop the DK and Megatron comparisons just for a little bit? I know he has the measurables, but let's just chill on the comparisons for just a little bit.
He's way different than Megatron to me anyway. Most of his catches are over the shoulder. Megatron's did a lot of box out catches. That was his specialty. So it's like they're different guys. DK can really get behind people, man. He can run routes and burn, and that's his specialty.
I really see a modern day TO in DK.
Like, he is kind of like a TO because he's hard to tackle after the catch, because he's going fast, and two, like he's built almost kind of like a TO. To your point, Hill. And so I don't see the Megatron at all, but he's definitely a threat. And this is what I saw in him coming out of college. If y'all remember, I was very high on him. Y'all told me I was bugging, and look at him.
I told you was bugging.
But what I will also say is here for rookies, it all depends on where you land.
That's a fact.
Because if you're an elite receiver, but you just end up with somewhere with a super trash quarterback, you may never pan out, and that may lead you to being a journeyman for the rest of your career, instead of DK ended up with a potential MVP for the season, since we were talking about awards.
And that's why I really think DeAndre Hopkins need to get more credit than what he's getting, because he got to top 5 with Brock Osweiler throwing him the ball, with TJ Yates throwing him the ball. Like, let's not forget this. Like Nuke was out there getting busy with me throwing him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he got a quarterback, it was like, oh, like it's real.
Yeah.
And so I think he needs a lot more credit than what he gets. And I'm like, I think people get it confused when you say someone's underrated. You're saying that they're not good, or if you're saying someone's overrated, you're saying that they're not good. No, he can be good and still be underrated for the value that he brings. And you started to see that when he got a quarterback.
I think I think DeAndre Hopkins is definitely getting his just due now.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was talking about then.
But he was because, like I said, he's been in the conversation, top 3 for a while anyway. And then when they send him this trade, it's like solidified, like, because he's leading the league in receiving. So it's like, it's definitely, it's him. It ain't nobody else making DeAndre Hopkins. It's DeAndre Hopkins.
But also, like Hill used to always point out, it's the drop factor with him too. It's like, has seasons with 0 drops. Then his other seasons are like 2 or 3 drops, and people get their wide receivers that have 2 or 3 drops a game.
Yeah.
And they start in the NFL, so go figure.
And then it's like, it's not that and you think about it, to not have any drops for a whole season.
That's
and
ridiculous,
it's not like
you're
not like a slot receiver where you're just getting quick, whip routes or quick slants and stuff like that. You're getting deep ends, you're getting post routes, you're getting go routes, and so you're getting 10 catches off of 13 targets, and you catching all of the catchable balls. So
the post is the setup. Like almost every defense in the NFL, if played properly, has someone waiting on the post. Almost every, it's like unless someone plays up to if you got Troy a pocky, he might come up too far and get burnt on the post. But the defense was designed to at least be aware of the post. So it's like when you can go out and go into most of the time, even if you're on the corner, like you said, he's a number one. He's on that post route. He's going to take the corner, and he's going to run into the safety when he goes into that post route. And that route that that year that he had 0 drops, they showed his highlight reel. He took a lot of big hits and still reeled in catches that year, which is just ridiculous. For his catching traffic is ridiculous. And he, like you said, he just don't drop nothing. He catch everything. So he's done it with TJ Yates. he's doing it with Kyler Murray. He did it with Deshaun Watson. We saw how Deshaun Watson struggled the first 3 games without Hopkins. Mm-hmm. He struggled. We never seen him look like that since college.
Shit, ain't like college either.
Yeah. So
no, that's what I'm saying. Like even since college, like we've never seen him look like that.
Oh yeah.
AJ, we gonna finish going through this award list, mid-season award list, or
I mean, we can. It's up to you.
I slid my MVP in there.
I know you did. We supposed to say that one for last.
Yeah, it's because I'm about to say it's a slow news week, so I'm just trying to give us something to talk about. So what I say? So we done went through big comeback player of the year, biggest surprise, biggest disappointment, defensive player of the year. Who y'all got?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that is a tough one because I don't know if I want to go secondary. I don't know if I want to go up front. Man,
because I'm gonna be biased.
What's the bias for the Bengals? You going with a Bengals player?
Yeah.
For what's this award?
Yeah, what's this award again?
Defensive player of the year.
And you gonna go with a Bengal?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me. Go ahead.
Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates. I look like before the season. We did our hot takes.
Jesse.
We did our hot takes, and I said he would be the best safety in the league. And he make an All-Pro team. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want to go Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett, and
I want to say Aaron Donald, but I just don't want to because that's what Sean wants to hear.
Exactly. look.
That's why I didn't want to say mine, but it's like it probably is him, but that's why I was thinking about going secondary.
It's definitely Aaron. It's definitely Aaron Donald, man. Because I just think, regardless, you put him on the field, he a game record. And what we was talking about in our private
Jalen Ramsey, man. I'm going Jalen Ramsey.
I think the way that they're utilizing him now in this defense is great. You putting him in that kind of in that slot role where you can allow him to cover, but you can still put him close to the line because he's a safety corner linebacker.
And he's a for sure tackler.
Because he gonna come up and hit you. It's a reason why Golden Tate didn't want the smoke for real. Because he like, look, hey, you left my sister and you left me on the ground. Like you just have no regard for human life apparently because you just don't care who you gonna hit. And so I think the way that they deploy him in that defense is amazing. And I mean, of course, like I said, he comes from DBU, so it's only right.
It's only right. But that's crazy because I would have went both of my players would have came from the Rams for defensive player of the year, which is wild.
Nah, I'm good. I think I'll give it I'm gonna show some love. I want to show some love to Fred Warner.
Yeah.
He balling.
He definitely putting himself in that conversation. But the record is just probably not gonna give him the recognition that he needs to right now.
Yeah. And neither is Jesse Bates. Neither is Jesse Bates.
Yeah, that's why
I know. No, 100%. But the reason why I don't like some of these awards is because if you just saying I'm the defensive player of the year, I'm not talking about the rest of my defense or the offense. I'm not talking about the rest of my offense.
If you're the defensive player of the year, AJ, then the rest of your team should be at least solid. You feel me? There's no way that you are not the defensive player of the year, but y'all are just giving up touchdowns galore. Why you think London Fletcher was never defensive player of the year? Because it's like,
kick you out.
No, he was PFF #1 corner.
No, I know, but we literally just was talking about.
No, he still is. He's playing at a high level.
That's what I'm
saying. Way better than we thought when he was on the free agent market.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I've been impressed. I checked out like he was like he ain't never did this in Carolina. I'm like, this is different.
He's been a bright spot for the Giants, and that's for sure.
I like that Devin White pick, Sean.
I was going to say Devin White too before I said Fred Warner. So, shouts out to Sean.
Fuck the Rams though.
Yeah.
Offensive Player of the Year, who y'all got? I don't think it should take this long. It should be Russell Wilson. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, but I mean that's my MVP.
Yeah, so I wanted, and that's what I was thinking, but I want to try to pick somebody else. So
Alvin Kamara.
I can respect that. I can definitely respect that.
Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I just don't want to pick a quarterback because I know MVP.
MVP is definitely going to be a quarterback award. Yeah.
I can't argue with Kamara. That's a good pick.
You definitely can't argue Kamara. I think with the way that the season played out, I think it's gonna be a quarterback. I think they might split it. I think Offensive Player of the Year might go to one quarterback and then MVP go to another quarterback or something like that, because you got a couple quarterbacks that's still out here balling. You got Russ, and we saying Russ is in the MVP. You got Aaron Rodgers, who's still out here, slanging that shit. Like I still be amazed at some of the throws that he makes on the field. Like watching that game last night, that deep ball over the shoulder to Devontae.
That was nice.
I literally was just like, oh my God, like that was perfect. And he throws the deep ball effortltly. Like it remember when like Michael Vick used to just look like he was throwing the ball, he was flicking his wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Like you watch like Aaron Rodgers, it was something that he kind of picked up in the
He got a laser. He's always had a laser.
But it's something that Aaron Rodgers picked up in the McCarthy system. Like when he throws, his feet aren't necessarily on the ground.
Because
it helps him for those lower leg injuries. And he just kind of like uses all torque and just gets out there. Like,
it's all torque.
Like, how
he got a cannon. And when you have a cannon, you don't necessarily have to have your feet set. You can do those things. But Dalvin Cook is definitely balling. Last week definitely helped propel him.
He got to stay healthy.
He do got to stay healthy.
If he stay healthy, he definitely in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But they not winning though.
Yeah, that's another thing. They definitely not winning.
Yeah, from Brett Favre.
But that's what I was talking about, Cannon. I was saying like that's that McCarthy system. Like that was something that they learned in that.
But it goes back to my theory as well. So it's like two things can be right. Brett Favre had a cannon. Both of these people have cannons. They are one of the few. I've never seen nobody. I've only seen Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers put a ball like through a window and like make people collide. Like they're the only two that I've really seen like really squeeze that window that should have been picked off.
But sometimes Brett Favre, he'll throw it at the side of the wall and think it was a window.
Hey, he got burnt a lot of times, but what I'm saying is that ability allowed Brett Favre to make throws from a lot of different platforms, and it allows Aaron Rodgers to do the same thing. And Peyton Manning said one of the best attributes a quarterback can have is laser rocket arm, and the ones who have it, they can do those things like throw off the back foot and still be successful.
And I'm gonna get to that in a later category, actually. So we did. What'd you say?
Go ahead.
We did offense and defensive player of the year, right?
Yeah.
So now your defensive rookie of the year. I'm gonna jump in and say Antoine Whitfield Jr. out in Tampa.
Boy, that boy looks like a myth.
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there looking like it.
I wanted him in Dallas, but
yeah, I feel you. He was out. He out there. He out there looking like it. And this is my runner up right here, Patrick Queen.
Yeah,
Patrick Queen out there getting it. And then I think Jeremy Chin out there. I think Jeremy Chin out there balling too. Like, and how they're using him is like How they're using Jeremy Chin is how Arizona should be using Isaiah Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
You letting him
But
have his versatility.
But Isaiah Simmons is being solid, and Chase Young is also being solid. So,
but once again, Chase Young being hurt.
Yeah, a couple games, but I'm just talking about when he been in there. And
he looked like he went in there.
And Simmons been solid too. Simmons been solid. It's not like he's just the other team is just abusing him and doing that. He's been making plays.
But what did I tell you before the draft?
About Simmons. Yeah, about Simmons.
When you sometimes
they make him play one. Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes being versatile is a detriment because sometimes these defensive coordinators don't be knowing what to do with you.
And that's sad.
And that's why teams that don't know what to do with you should leave you the fuck alone.
Because I would know exactly.
They literally say that he's gonna come in here and play linebacker. What? No.
He can. I would let him be my middle linebacker if you wanted him to be linebacker. And I would let him have free reign to do whatever he wanted. I would say playoff instincts, bro. And I would let him do that. Or I would put him at safety.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think he would be better used as, someone who could have a little bit more freedom in their positions and be used in some mismatches. Put him on, as a safety, but then you have another linebacker in. So it looks like you basically playing with one safety and 4 linebackers or whatever, 3 linebackers, but you in nickel. You know what I mean? So to give yourself a little bit more freedom instead of just saying, here, you're my middle linebacker, play middle linebacker. This is your assignment.
We all got it. They got time.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, you tired of him?
I am.
Nah, I feel you, bro. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Who you got?
CeeDee Lamb.
I respect it. I respect that.
He would have ran away with it if we had our damn quarterback.
Any quarterback. Nah, I feel you. It's at the coochie. This one stumping you, Cannon. Ah, shit.
I'm just trying to think what other offensive rookies that have I liked.
This would be a good defensive coordinator candidate too, but Buda Baker.
Oh yeah, Buda Baker been balling.
Yeah. Whew. Well, Cannon, why you think I'm going Justin Herbert?
See, see, I wasn't even thinking about him, but he's cooking. He's cooking as a rookie.
Over Burrow,
and the reason why
I'm going Burrow.
Here's the reason why I'm going Justin Herbert over Burrow is because Justin Herbert is doing some of the things that are going to get a lot of the highlights. He's throwing the deep balls. He's throwing those. He's making those throws that make you like, God damn, how did he complete that? He's having that 60-yard bomb.
Oh, he's cooking.
And he's cooking. He has 15 TDs, got 5 picks, the same amount as Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow got 11 TDs. So, and that also has to deal with kind of like, the team and the team played and stuff like that. So, that's all.
I spoke about that earlier.
Right? Joe Burrow is efficient. Joe Burrow is intermediate. He hasn't really been getting the ball deep, but it's also kind of the weapons that we have. We don't necessarily have somebody we don't have anybody that's really going to stretch the field that we utilize. So if you look at the numbers, Joe Burrow is top 3 in, intermediate passes. But, just for, I think when it comes to these awards, doing the highlight stuff is really what's going to put you in to get this award. And that's why I think Justin Herbert's going to get it.
And they keep losing.
Yeah.
And they keep losing too. But that's why I didn't understand why you didn't go with your guy. Because I'm sitting there, if they're losing,
the big play.
And I get it. Be objective. I'm not telling you.
The reason why I'm saying is because I think Justin Herbert has more highlights than Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow has looked better, but he has more highlights.
But they also just letting it fly. They letting it fly out there on the West Coast, man.
Go Chargers, go. I mean, like you said, it's a toss-up. It's
definitely a toss-up.
And that's why it's a mid-season award right now that we do it because
this last half is going to decide it. But I think it's like, I know you said CD, and so I think
it's going to be hard for CD to have it.
If quarterbacks are doing anything, I think it's going to be a quarterback award just because of course, they overvalue quarterbacks. I don't say overvalue quarterbacks, but when it comes to those awards, they're gonna always get it. And right now, Joe Burrow's on pace to break the rookie passing record. Justin Herbert's on pace to break the rookie touchdown record. So if one of those happen, they're gonna get it. But a dark horse, I think Chase Claypool is in that as well. That rookie ranking. And I think it just like you said with CD, he still has his quarterback.
Yeah.
And it's looking like he's about to take over as kind of that, that piece in Pittsburgh. And they always
but Deontay Johnson comes back. Every time he comes back, it seems like he just takes away from Chase Claypool for me.
Yeah, but I still think with the way that they throw that football around, he gonna get his numbers. And like I said, and like I was telling you, he played the Cowboys and the Bengals back to back. That's gonna
be. They win the award next week.
I'm about to say that 2 weeks might be a doozy. He might get 8 touchdowns in a 2-week span. You dig what I'm saying?
He gonna eat. He gonna eat Sunday.
Oh,
21.
Think it's Thanksgiving, goddamn it.
21 already. 21-0. Once they get off that plane, baby, don't let Philly mess your head up and think this defense figured it out. It's 21-0 already off the plane. They ain't even boarded yet, and there's already 21-0. You can book it.
You can book that one.
Call parlay and go ahead and get the bet the over or whatever. They gonna run this scoreboard up. They run it back, Turbo.
But yeah, that's my coach of the year though. While we in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin.
I think it's not even close, to be quite honest.
A lot of people thought that the Rooneys will part ways with Mike Tomlin a year ago, 2 years ago. Things were looking shady.
Mm-hmm.
But the Rooneys stayed true to who they are. They've only had 3 coaches in my lifetime.
And they
only had in my lifetime. I don't even think Chuck Noll was a coach in my lifetime. I don't know. But as far back as I can remember,
you was in high school.
It was Bill Cowher. I remember Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin, and that's it. So it's like they stay with their coaches, so their coaches are going to have downtime, but they're also going to have the good times too. And I think Mike Tomlin's trending back towards getting the Steelers where they want to be. The only thing that I'm worried about is Big Ben's age and his history with injuries. Scares me about them going forward. So
I hate them so much.
Yeah, but I think it's a clear cut. It's clear cut coach of the year with him.
All right, so moving on.
Nah, go ahead and say your piece, man.
Yeah,
get that man his flowers.
No head.
The MVP. Who you got?
I got Russell Wilson.
I got Big Russ, man.
Let him cook. That was that's across the board there, because I really don't see anybody else who's like, especially it's like,
you don't see what?
Well, I'm talking about mid-season. I know it's some people in this race. I'm just saying what Russ is doing to have that team looking like that, and to have the defense that he's had to carry.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like I think Russ has it right now, and it's still some people who can get it. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers kind of hurt himself with that loss to Tampa, and then that Minnesota game. Brady's still in it. Brady's looking good, but I just think Russ is on another planet right now.
Russ on another planet. Russ got Lockett looking like one of the best, man.
Yeah.
You hear what they talk about?
Lockett
he got Lockett looking like one of the best, and people calling DK Megatron.
Yeah.
Well, and that just those 3. Russ, DK, and Lockett. But that's a problem coming in if you got to think about defending that. And they throw it a lot, man. Their receivers be having double-digit receptions per game. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, kind of as they should, but they still got that running game too at the end of the day. So they still, and that's the thing. When you have a quarterback like Russ, it's almost like it's always going to be open. It's always going to be there.
His decision making is A1.
I really want to know how. Like, I think Russ would be in a different. Like, people would think of Russ differently if they would have just handed the ball to Marshawn. And I really blame Pete Carroll for that. Like, bro,
yeah, you can't.
He like had two. He'd have 2 Super Bowl rings, and he's still playing like this. You know what I mean? So like, it's a whole bunch of quarterbacks that don't have that second Super Bowl
ring. He could have not thrown a pick. He could have waited one more second, and all he has to do is just wait one more second and then throw the slant. So it's like that was. I think that made Russ into what he is now. He got a Super Bowl, so he could be proud of that. He's one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen in modern times. So it's like, bro, I think he's good, but I think that helped him because too much success early could have ruined him. He could have got that second one and then just went downhill.
And this was my point about how you could be defensive player of the year and not be on a good defense. You can't tell me that Bobby Wagner's overrated. That man he does it. He's it. Like
Bobby Wagner has never been overrated.
Like, he does it, bro. Like
Ask our king.
He the one who said it.
Yeah, I'm confused.
What he said, and he over here lying. He over here lying.
I was gonna say, I don't know what conversation you had. You might want to ask him again.
Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-man week. We come at you with topics. No, you cannot stop it.